Welcome, everyone, to our second attempt at this. We are 1 week out from Election Day here in Illinois, and I am joined by Holly Kim, who is running for controller, which is a statewide office. So she is on your ballot if you are in the great state of Illinois. Welcome, Holly.
Hey, thanks for having me, Liz. But good to be back, actually.
Yeah, we figured we'd run it back for you guys because the last time we talked, I don't know, it's hard to hold on to information week to week at this point. I heard ChatGPT is to blame for that, that it's messing with our recall and our cognition. Yet another reason not to use AI. And I'm just really happy to get you in front of my audience again here on Substack, and we'll share this around because you're an incredible candidate. It's an often overlooked but very important office. So, could we start with what this does? And then I really want to get into your background. You've got a great origin story that includes chickens. And I want to talk about a little bit about the state of your race and some of the recent developments.
Sure. So, hi, everybody who's watching. My name is Holly Kim, and I'm a candidate for Illinois State Controller. Now, I am currently the county treasurer for 2 terms up in Lake County, Illinois. So, when she asks, like, what does this job do at the Illinois State Controller? So, currently, this is what I do. I handle the money coming in and the investing and the money going out. Now, at the state, it's so big. You have one person for the money coming in and investing. That's the Illinois State Treasurer, Michael Frericks, and the money going out. That is the Illinois Controller, Susanna Mendoza. And that's what I'm running for, Illinois State Controller. And so arguably, right?
You're
Oh,
already doing it, and you are also
yes,
endorsed by the person already doing it.
that's right. I am.
Amazing. And we are doing pretty well as a state money wise. So I feel like those are ringing endorsements. And you are just such a beloved member of our community. You've had an atypical rise into politics. Can you tell us kind of how you got started?
Yeah, so in 2013, I first ran for village trustee, and it was because I was one of those crunchy moms who wanted to have backyard chickens. And it's funny because went around to a bunch of different towns to see their like chicken meeting, and I took all these notes. Right, I was that one person in the audience watching the chicken battle unfold in several towns, and I was like, okay, so number one, they're probably gonna say that you're the crazy chicken lady. So I took that note down, and then they're gonna talk about like this, and that. So by the time chickens came to Mundelein, where I live and ran for office, I got a bunch of guys together too. And so I called it a coalition of people who wanted backyard chickens. And we had all these facts, like clucks and decibels, poop and grams, zootonic diseases. Like, if anything, it looked like a case to ban dogs and cats, right? And so when they voted no on the chickens, I was like, but the facts, the logic, like all that, like we did a whole presentation. And that was the day that I realized government was not about facts and logic, right? It's about majority vote. And so I ran for village trustee because I was like, this is a numbers game. And I told my friends, if you and I get up there, like we can not only have our chickens, we will fill these empty storefronts. We'll get better restaurants because no wonder we only have Subway and pizza in this town. Like, they were voting no to some of the restaurants coming in. So not only did I then get to serve as village trustee, where I was then able to teach people their rights, teach people how to run for office, but also how to appeal their assessments, keep a little more money in their pockets. But I also then was at the township government, now 2 terms as county treasurer. I'm also vice chair of the Democratic Party in my county. I'm flipping districts left and right. It's like this beast that was unlocked. And at the end of it all, honestly, I'm going to write a book probably called They Should Have Just Given Me My Chickens.
Should have just given you your chickens, and all you wouldn't have been a thorn in the side of a lot of what we affectionately refer to in the state of Illinois as the machine. So here in Illinois, we are blue as the day is long, but that comes with its own challenges, right? That the same kind of people are in power, and that everything kind of looks good from the outside, but inside there's a lot of very wealthy, very powerful people, a lot of times rigging the system for themselves. And this role is so important because it is the financial oversight of the state. And if something is afoot and wrong, this is the type of person that would be able to know that, right? And it seems odd to me that recently this is a race where there are limits on how much you can contribute unless somebody gets a giant check, and then that is known as blowing the caps. So,
Yes.
can you tell us a little bit about what happened recently in your race?
So I did receive a letter from the State Board of Elections saying that the caps were blown in my race because one of the candidates received a $250,000 check. That now opens the race up for all sorts of size checks to come. If someone wants to cut $1 million, they can. Right? This is the dark money has been flowing in, but now they can flow in even more. Honestly, they did that probably because they had seen every single poll had us in the lead. And in order for their candidate to catch up, they had to pump in way more money. But we are a grassroots campaign that is all on everyday regular people like yourself and myself who donated to my campaign. And we have organized the state, and that's where our power was and why our numbers were so good. But we are like running hard and sprinting to the end. And this is where, coming on your show like this, is so that your audience can learn about me and help out again, because we're grassroots. And I think that's
Sure.
what matters.
And
People.
that makes people angry that, by the way, there are limits. But then if a billionaire gets involved and his PAC gives hundreds of thousands of dollars, now there's no limits. Now anybody can get as much money from anywhere. So it really, one, if you are just fatigued this election season by the texts and the calls and the emails and the commercials and the mail, and you're feeling like this is a waste, well, this is why running for office is so expensive, because people kind of parachute in, and we have such wealth disparity in this country that it then makes it really, really unfair for those not willing to take that type of money. But they might have billionaires, but we have everyday grassroots people that feel that it's important to protect this aspect of our democracy. Where can we go? Is it Vote Holly Kim?
Voteforhollykim.com. You can sign up to volunteer. You can also donate. One thing I want everyone to know is that we organized the state. Out of all the candidates who are running for Illinois controller, we have like 9 different regional hubs with our signs and lit and county coordinators in every county. We spent the time putting in that work and effort to organize the entire state of Illinois because we actually went to Southern Illinois, Central Illinois, Metro East, Western. And I think when you're running for a statewide position, it really matters that you go around the whole state because you're going to represent everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been doing that. You've been doing the work. You've been in every corner of this state. And I think also educating people about what this role is and why it's important. And I think right now, a lot of people are coming out in this primary to vote for Senate. We also have a number of contested primaries in the congressional districts. But the other things on your race, these positions that you might not be familiar with, that aren't something that it feels like is part of your everyday, they actually really do touch your everyday, right? Like what the comptroller does, assessor and board of review. Like these are things that it impacts your property taxes, it impacts the money in your pocket. And it's really important when we are in a primary and it's like, well, everyone's a Democrat. And now I would say, even in your race, there are definitely more like Margaret Croak is one of the people that you're running against. She's currently a state rep. I would classify her as like an extremely right Democrat, like very moderate, if not somewhat Republican coded. Like I have a friend that wanted to do overdose sites and she was against that. Like just kind of like very questionable, not what I would say are in line with like my progressive values and the way that I want to anybody who is getting paid by my tax dollars in this state. Like I want them to, I want their values to be in line with my own, and sort of like the vision and the bold policy that we want to see pushed forth. Like it matters. Every person, whether they're the controller or whether they're the lawmaker themselves, they're like, I think their ethos is really important. But all that to say, when you're looking at these races and you're comparing candidates, really looking at who gives them their money and whose interest that serves, right?
Yeah. So having a background where I had a kid in college, I had to switch gears to work full time, go to school part time, and juggle a kid. And I signed up for everything. I signed up for WIC, Medicaid, Head Start, LIHEAP, EITC, you name it. Like I was on all those programs so that I could keep going to school, even if it was just that one Saturday class and that's all I could do. But after 8.5 years, I crawled across that finish line and I got that piece of paper, I got that degree. And about that same time, because we never talk about money, especially in minority communities, I had a relative who stole my identity and absolutely trashed my credit to the ground. And so I am very proud that 23 years later, I am the county treasurer of Lake County, $3.2 billion. All checks go out with my name on it. And I have spent a long time making sure that other people are protected now and their money. That's kind of like my superhero arc is protecting you, your family, and your money in the way that I wish someone would have done for me. So that means 100 different financial literacy classes out of my treasurer's office, which they've never done before, where we talk about rebuilding credit, how to avoid scams, and even sitting on Controller Mendoza's Bank on Commission at the Controller's Office against predatory lending, where we worked with the Black Caucus and the legislators to lower the rate that payday loans could charge from 277% down to 36%, and they all closed up shop and left Illinois.
Right.
So it is definitely like my specialty is protecting people and their money.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that really matters. Like, as you just said, with all of those programs and having somebody that is going to champion financial literacy, that is going to champion, I think every element of this conversation touches on this in one way or another. We have a tremendous wealth disparity in this country and in this state. And if not for our federal government putting guardrails on that, helping people that are oftentimes the reason why billionaires get richer is because they prey on working people. I think we need to make sure that every person sitting in office has that attitude and is serving the people of Illinois and not their donors.
So I am always, always going to side on people who are two paychecks away from nothing in the working class, because that's literally where I'm from, where I still am. And it is with that lens that I have been changing government tangibly in every capacity, ever since the chickens. And the example I'll give you is not only teaching people how to appeal their assessments, keeping more money in their pockets as a village trustee, but also at the township, we converted physically our boardroom, took out the wood and everything, and turned it into a food pantry. My argument was that we only have one meeting here, 1 hour every month, but people have needs every day. And if you look at it that way, it makes no sense to have a room that's empty 99% of the time,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And so even as county treasurer, some of the changes that I've made is digitizing work so staff can work from home and like making, more things equal that way, 200% investment returns and giving $6 million back to my schools, my parks, my libraries. This is pretty unheard of that government gives money back, but we found the way.
That's incredible. Well, I am pulling for you. I've got my Holly Kim sign and my Holly Kim button. If anybody needs
Let's
a sign,
go.
let me know. Send me a message here or on Instagram with your address, and I'll bring you a Holly Kim sign. Very important in this last week, we had somebody in the comments say they just voted for you yesterday. Double your impact. Bring a friend with you to vote. Even if you've already voted or you did a mail in ballot or what have you, think of that friend that is aligned, that is just going to probably forget. Honestly, that's usually I always use the "you've got mail" line. It's like, I went to get a manicure and I forgot to vote. Fortunately, now we have early voting. So, like,
Mhm.
what's your excuse? You weren't getting a manicure for 2 weeks. But anytime between now and Tuesday is a great time to vote. I know some people like voting on election day, but one, it's gonna be freezing on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, it's gonna be like 14. So no thank you. And like, why stand online? Why wait? Why, anything could happen in a day. Your car starter goes, your kid is throwing up. Just like, get it done. Do it this weekend. Early voting sites all over the North Shore. They're up on my profile. Wilmette Rec Center, Northbrook Rec Center, Evanston Rec Center, Glenview Rec Center, Niles. There's a million in Chicago. So check out that map. Go vote for Holly Kim. Go support her on her website so she can stand up to the billionaires trying to buy elections in this state. And thank you so much for being here.
No problem. Let me quick plug. I have a Get Out the Vote final fundraiser on Zoom with the controller, Susanna Mendoza, and it's going to be on Saturday, March 14th. I will send the Zoom link info for you to put on your Substack.
What time is it?
It's at 5 o'clock. Saturday, March 14th, 5 o'clock p.m.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes of this live. Thanks so much,
Let's
Holly.
go.
Let's go. Let's win this. Holly Kim.
Print the end. Let's go.
That's it. All right. Thanks, Holly. Talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.